Mel Duffy, BBC East Midlands Today, Nottingham.
Well, our social affairs correspondent Jeremy Ball is here with me. I mean, these incidents, they do make people very frightened of city centres. But the reality, is knife crime getting worse?
Well, it does get more attention when there's a high-profile incident, doesn't it, like that stabbing in Primark recently. I think the other thing is we're also more aware of it because of mobile phones. Remember that shocking footage of a machete fight last year? Most knife crime, the vast majority, never makes headlines, and it's certainly nothing new. And I've been looking at the official figures, and they do show reductions in serious knife crime broadly since the numbers peaked around 5 years ago. Here's what our police forces recorded in the year to last September. Several people injured by knives, so stabbed or slashed in an average week. Smaller numbers robbed at knife point. Now, those rates for all of our forces are below the national average. A lot of these crimes involve people who know each other. And while we don't hear about most of these incidents, and behind some of those statistics, there are some appalling tragedies.
I mean, we saw that call for action, it was a great turnout and everything, but we have kind of heard this before.
We have, and I think a lot of this comes down to a debate about youth services and diversionary activities and whether cuts in funding can be counterproductive. And that funding really ebbs and flows a lot of the time in response to public pressure. And we did see that quite a lot after a spate of fatal shootings in Nottingham around 2 decades ago now. You might remember this. This was the overwhelming response to the murder of 14-year-old Danielle Becken, who was hit by a ricocheted bullet as she walked home from the Goose Fair. Now, that became a huge turning point at the time. And I think we saw a similar outcry, didn't we, more recently after the Nottingham attacks?
Yes, indeed we did. Well, Jeremy, thank you for that. And talking about the Nottingham attacks,